99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Welcome, everybody, to Hackberry Park as we are getting ready for some varsity softball. The Warriors taking on Blue River. And it is seniors night coming up, and we just want to say congratulations to the seniors, and we'll follow along with them. We'll take a little break right now and say thank you to all the sponsors, a part of the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club, as we continue on to bring you coverage right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and 99.3 FM KWAB. 99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Again, it is senior night, and we do want to say thank you to tonight's main sponsor, and that is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, the senior night sponsor for softball right here, including all the sponsors. We want to say again thank you to them. Here in a moment, we're going to turn things over to the stadium announcer as we will be honoring the class of 2026 as they get ready.
Tonight, our Wahoo High School softball program celebrates our three seniors along with their parents. These young ladies have devoted a tremendous amount of time and energy to the Wahoo softball program. At this time, we'd like to recognize these student athletes and pay tribute to their efforts. Number 4, Addie Kenning. Addie is the daughter of James and Christine Kenning and Jennifer and Lee Kropp. Her other activities at Wahoo's high school include softball, track and field, multicultural club, junior mates, and FCA. Addie's future plans are to major in occupational therapy, and her favorite memory is hitting her first home run against Elkhorn. Addie's advice for others is no matter what happens, trust God's plan that everything will work out in the end. Number 4, Addie Kenning. Number 22, Blake Hitz. Blake is the daughter of Rihanna and BJ Hitz. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include softball, track and field, unified bowling, National Honor Society, student council, multicultural club, and junior mates. Blake's future plans are to major in special education, and her favorite memory was getting to play her first 2 years of softball with her sister and staying at a hotel for state tournament her freshman year. Blake's advice for others is to always remember you are enough no matter the situation, and to always look for the light at the end of the tunnel when things are hard. Number 22, Blake Hitz. Number 30, Ella Walsh. Ella is the daughter of Amber Offenkamp and Jimmy Walsh. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include Future Farmers of America, and her future plans are to attend Northwest Missouri State and major in ag education. Ella's favorite memory is a unity meal her junior year when the team had to figure out whose baby picture went to what teammate, and she couldn't figure out which baby was her because she wasn't there. Her dad had submitted a picture of her younger sister. Ella's advice for others is don't take everything so seriously and have fun. You're only in high school once. Number 30, Ella Walsh. Fans, let's give these three seniors one last round of applause and thank them for their dedication and commitment to Wahoo softball.
There we have the seniors for the softball team as they've been honored tonight, and we will be looking at districts, doing some calculations to see where we will end up playing next week. So keep tuned to that as we will follow along. You can follow along on the schedule through Wahoo Public Schools, also right here on 99.3 FM, Saunders County Online, WahooRadio.com, SaundersCountyOnline.com.
we'll make sure you have many avenues to be able to get to that. A couple of housekeeping items as we continue on. So this is the second game that is going to be played. The JV was played earlier, so if you missed any of that, you can certainly go back, rewind, watch it. Go back to it later, watch. It's available always. Saunders County Online and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube channels. Yeah, so follow along. Thank you to the sponsors for being a part of all of the broadcasts and the Athletic Booster Club. JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, and Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, which is also tonight's anchor sponsor, and then Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Coaches are gathering at the home plate, getting ready for this next game to play, but we do have some of the national anthems coming up, and we are looking forward to that. And again, a great night for softball. It is the last day of September, and can you believe that we hit the 80s again today? But October is on its way, and we'll maybe get some more normal temperatures coming in next week as we look forward to districts. Again, not sure where it's going to be played, where people are going to land, but we will make sure we can do as much as we can to be able to cover it for you as we get into the playoffs and hopefully beyond. Today's varsity game is scheduled for 6:30, so we should be able to get that. Also going on tonight is volleyball. So volleyball facing off against Malcolm. So you can certainly watch that on our channels as well as that keeps going. And I believe at this point in time, we do see we're halfway through the JV. So that is going on also on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, and 99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com.
.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
And now for the starting lineups, first for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Blue River Panthers. Leading off, number 5, Danica Watts. Number 9, Ashlyn Long. Number 6, Abby Lindsley. Number 24, Olivia Adams. Number 7, Taya Slonnecker. Number 13, Jaden Hayes. Number 8, Tessa Tasinski. Number 18, Amelia Hupner. Number 17, Shelby Reed. and the designated player number 19, Taylor Slonnecker. And now your starting lineups for your Wahoo Warriors. In left field, number 3, Briar Hancock. In center field, number 8, Karin Eady. At third base, number 8, Avery Hansen. Behind the plate, number 23, Addie Gregg. At second base, number 16, Addie Smart. At shortstop, number 5, Olivia Wesley. In the circle, number 1, Emma Meyer. The designated player, number 9, Leah Simon. In right field, number 4, Addie Kenning. And at first base, number 22, Blake Hitz. The Warriors are assisted by Liz Gregg and Ashley Ott, and your head coach is Trina Kristen. Fans, we ask at this time to please rise and remove your caps as we stand and honor our flag and country with the singing of tonight's national anthem, performed by Wahoo High School freshmen and Wahoo Softball's very own number 27, Emery Losterer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, thank you, Emily. Emery Blosterer, as we have the national anthem, and we're ready to play ball. So let's go ahead, and again, you heard the starting lineups. It's a cloudy night, and it is temperature is actually perfect to be able to be playing some softball out here. 77 degrees, fair skies. And so actually down to 76. Time is passing, and so is the temperature. We will, again, continue to bring you all the coverage we can as we continue on. More action this week. Obviously, it will be football at home as Mount Michael comes to pay a visit to the Warriors. And let's see, what else are we going to be covering at home for the Warriors as this week continues on. And I believe actually that is the home games lineup for this week. And then we start looking at districts for softball, the volleyball. We're getting towards the end of the season there, and football, again, moving right along throughout the entire season. So, again, you can follow along, and we will continue to give all of that to you right here on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. All right, and if you are watching from home and you see it is pink out night for the Warriors, part of Saunders Medical Center, as they are making sure that everybody is aware of Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. So that is what the pink out is all about. And so that is why the uniforms are pinked out today. Well, stepping up to bat for Blue River, starting off with a catcher, Danica Watts. Danica Watts is the senior for Blue River. Warm-ups are complete. And we have Addison Gregg crouching into the catching position and waiting for Emma Meyer. First pitch swung on, and that gets loped into shallow center field for a base hit. Not wasting any time to be able to get out on a base. So one up, one pitch, one on base. And now we have the next to bat is center fielder stepping in the batting box is center fielder Ashlyn Long. First pitch called a ball. Wind up pitch on the way, swing, and that gets popped into shallow center field again. Throw is not in time. It puts runners at the corners. So Blue River making a stand with their bats right off the bat. And that brings up the pitcher, Abby Lindsley Jr. for Blue River. Stepping into the batting box. Wind up pitch. And that one is across the outside edge of the plate for a called strike, but we do see Ashlyn Long steal second. So with that, we have an 0-1, nobody out, runners on second and third. Next pitch comes in, called strike. Swung on that one, actually. So Abby Lindsley. 0-2, nobody out, runners on second and third. We're at the top of the first inning. Wind up, next pitch coming in, swing, and that gets popped in and over the second base into right field. And there comes in 2 runs, but trying to make it to second for the first out. Gets pulled on that one. So striking first, striking hard, Blue River is able to bring in 2 runs, and that brings up number 4 in the batting order, third baseman Olivia Adams. First pitch called a ball. Nobody on base now. 2 runs in, 1 out. Swing and a miss, strike. So it counts 1-1 with 1 out. Wind up next pitch. Swing is fouled straight back. Counts 1-2 to Olivia Adams. Emma Meyer is pitching for the Warriors. Catching is Addison Gregg. Over on first base is the flex hitter, Blake Hitz. Next pitch coming in. And that gets fouled back and keeps the count 1-2. Second base is Addison Smart. Third base is Avery Hansen. Shortstop Olivia Wesley. Then we have left field Briar Hancock. Center fielder is Karen Eady, and right field is Addison Kenning. That one's hit over to right field, and diving in, right fielder Addison Kenning able to reel it in for the out. So now 2 outs, nobody on base. 2 runs have come in, top of the first inning. And we bring up the shortstop, Tessa Tesinski. Tessa Tesinski is a freshman. First pitch swung on, and that gets loped straight out past the glove of right fielder Addison Kenning. Wrapping around second and stopping at third as the ball gets there. So an infield triple with 2 outs. Now we have the left fielder, Amelia Hoppener at first. Pitch is low. Actually, first baseman Jaden Hayes. There we go. So we have 1-0 as the count, 2 outs, runner on third. Wind up next pitch, and that is on the outside edge of the plate, a little too far. So 2. Oh, they calling strike. Okay. So 1-1. No, yeah, he says it's 2-0. Wind up that pitch, swing, and that gets popped over. They're heading over to that right field and right center fielder, but the center fielder, is Karen Eady, rolls over and gets the third out. Well, that's going to be it for the top of the first inning, but they get through 6 batters, bring in 2 runs, and strand a runner on third. We'll come back right after we hear about our sponsors. Sponsors are part of the Wahoo Public Schools Athletic Booster Club. It's right here on 99.3 FM, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube.
99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
We're at Hackberry Park as softball coming your way right here on BSDNlive.com, WDCNE Media, Saunders County Online, 99.3 FM, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. The anchor sponsor for tonight is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. Again, say thank you to all of them. If you want to learn more about being a part of the Booster Club, you can certainly contact the activities department right here at Wahoo Public Schools. Stepping in to bat is left fielder Briar Hancock. Leadoff batter for the Warriors, down 2-0. First pitch swung on, and that gets fouled back for a strike 1. Briar Hancock, a junior for the Warriors. Tonight they honored 3 seniors. It is senior night tonight. Next pitch on the way, and that's outside for a called ball. 1-1. Blue River striking first with 2 runs at the top of the first inning. Wind up next pitch. Pulled that one. Tried to hold it, but too far around. Strike 2. Wind up next pitch on the outside and slow swing at for strike 3 and out number 1. So that brings up center fielder Karen Eady. Was able to bring in the third out for the top of the first inning as it was popped out to right center field. First pitch comes in, called ball. Warm day, but back into the 70s. The overcast keeps it a little nicer. That one comes in, kind of curves out and swung on strike. So 1-1 with 1 out, nobody on base. Bottom of the first inning. Next pitch on the way on the inside. Pops straight up and, catcher for Blue River, Danica Watts, didn't really have to move very far to grab that out. And that brings up the third in the lineup. That's third baseman Avery Hansen, Jr. as well. Wind up pitch. Stays a little high. Called ball one. Waiting for the next pitch. 2 outs, nobody on base. 1-0. That one stays outside. 2-0. Gets in there, and then that one again stays outside. The count's 3-0 on Edie's behalf here, or actually Hansen's behalf. Again, Avery Hansen at bat, third baseman. Wind up that pitch, and that one gets called strike. Avery was looking back, it's like, can I go? And the answer is nope. You have to wait again. 3-1 is the count. 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that one's pulled down the third base side out of play. Count goes full. So with 2 outs, this is the last strike for the Warriors at this point. The bottom of the first inning. Waiting for the payoff pitch. Wind up, and that's swung on. That gets popped down the third base line, and almost grabbing it was Olivia Adams, the third baseman for Blue River, just outside of the reach of the glove. So it keeps the count at full at 3-2. Wind up pitch, swing, and that's pulled again down the third baseline. Three-two is the count. Nobody on base. 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the first inning, and Blue River with a 2-0 lead. Wind up next pitch. Swing and a miss. And unfortunately, that is strike 3, out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Warriors get to go back and play some defense, and we'll come back right after this, and it'll be Blue River taking on their bats on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online, YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and 99.3 FM, wahooradio.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger.
So after one, Blue River holding the lead 2-0. Now that brings up the shortstop for Blue River, Tessa Tisinski. First pitch comes in, swung on, and that one's missed. Nice pitch just on the outside upper edge of the plate. 0-1. Wahoo looking to build their defensive stand right here. Next pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Right across the top of the numbers. So 0-2. Emma Myers stepping in with the bat, and the pitch that goes out to right center field. Again, stepping over is Edie, Karen Edie with the out. So reeling that one in. That brings up number 8 in the batting lineup for Blue River, and the left fielder, Amelia Hoppner. Wind up, pitch, swing, and that gets fouled back for strike 1. Blue River was able to get their bats lined up just right and be able to bring in 2 runs. Warriors looking to stop that right here. Next pitch, that is low and outside. 1-1 is the count. Next pitch coming in, swing and a miss. So Meyer with a fantastic pitch right there, being able to get it right past Hopner. 1-2 is the count with 1 out, nobody on base. Wind up, next pitch on the way, and that's high and outside. Count goes even at 2. And looking for that third swing, and there, got it. Strike out. So 2 outs, nobody on base. So 1 up, or 2 up and 2 down. Now moving to the 9th batter of the lineup, the designated hitter, Shelby Reed. Shelby Reed, that first pitch called ball. 1-0, 2 outs, nobody on base. Next pitch on the way, and that is inside, but a little too far inside, 2-0. Pitch on the way. That one is called strike as it just goes right on the inside edge of the plate. 2-1 with 2 outs. Nobody on base. Top of the second inning. Next pitch coming in. That one is a little bit low. 3-1 is the count. And Meyer looking to find that strike zone and put this top of the inning away. And that one gets in there, called strike. Reed watches that go right on by. Count goes full. Payoff pitch right here for Meyer. Wind up that pitch, swung on, and that gets fouled straight back. Keeps the count full at 3-2 with 2 outs. Good crowd out here today. Absolutely stunning night to be outside for softball. Wind up next pitch, swing and a miss, and that one actually is called foul. So, staying alive on that one. Wind up for the next pitch. And that one gets poked back out to Meyer. Meyer throws over to first. Hits is able to get that in time for out number 3. So 1.5 complete. Blue River held to 0 on that particular inning, but they already have 2 from the top of the first. 2-0. Warrior Bats are going to come back and see what they can do right after we take this break. Also, we want to say thank you to the title sponsor for tonight, senior night of softball. It is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. Again, say thank you to them and all the sponsors for being a part of the broadcast and supporting the athletes and Booster Club right here at Wahoo Public Schools.
99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Welcome back to Hackberry Park. Addison Gregg stepping into the batting box, the catcher. That first pitch a little bit outside for ball one. Again, say thank you to all the sponsors. 1-0. Warriors trailing by 2 to Blue River on this last day of September. Next pitch swung on, and that gets loped out into the hands of the shortstop, Tessa Tasinski, for the grab and the out. Well, we go from Addison Gregg to Addison Smart, to the second baseman for the Warriors, stepping into the batting box. First pitch on the way. That one stays right on the inside edge for strike one. Wind up next pitch. Swung, and that one's pulled down the third base side, and that goes foul for strike two. Another pitch comes in, swing and a miss. Strike three, and that is 2 outs. That brings up sixth in the lineup, and that's shortstop Olivia Wesley Jr. stepping into the batting box. So we have nobody on base, 2 outs. Warriors down 2-0 to Blue River. Next pitch, wind up, swing, and that gets popped down the first base side, and just a touch out of play, hits the roof of the first base dugout. But that's still strike one. Olivia Wesley stepping back into the batting box, waiting for the next pitch. Here's the 0-1. That one stays high, so it counts 1-1. Wind up pitch. That one is called ball 2. 2-1. Nobody on base, 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Next pitch on the way, swing and miss on that one. That is strike 2. Counts even. Warriors looking to warm up their bats here. They stepped it up at the top of the second inning for the defense. They need their bats to warm up, and they pop that one straight up, and coming in is third baseman Olivia Adams grabbing that out. So that is 3 up and 3 out. We'll go to the top of the third inning. Blue River holds the lead 2-0 as we will continue to bring you Warrior softball right here on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, bsdnlive.com, and wahooradio.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Well, we come back to the top of the third, and for Blue River, it is top of the batting order, leading things off with their catcher, Danica Watts, the senior stepping into the batting box. Again, Blue River leading over the Warriors 2-0. Sun peeking out from the sunset underneath the clouds on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Last day of September. First pitch on the way, and that stays high and outside for ball one. Top of the third inning. Wind up pitch, and that one gets right down the middle for strike one. 1-1. Another pitch on the way, swing, and that gets fouled back. So strike two. 1-2 is the count. Leadoff batter for the inning and leadoff batter for the entire round for Blue River. Danica Watts waiting for the next pitch. Swing on that one, and that is strike three. That brings up center fielder Ashlyn Long, the sophomore for Blue River, stepping into the batting box, waiting for the next pitch. Comes in. That goes foul down the third base side for strike one. Just barely foul, like just a couple inches as it got to the third base. Wind up next pitch on the way, and that's low and inside. 1-1. Wind up next pitch, and that's on the inside, a little too far. 2-1. Yes, next week is the start of district play. So the ADs in the area getting together the next couple of days and seeing how all the numbers crunch and who plays where. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. Counts 3-1. Ashlyn Long waiting for the next pitch. Check swing and held it apparently enough for the base. So Ashlyn Long on base. Now we go to Abby Lindsley. Pitcher in the batting box. First pitch comes in, called ball. Wind up next pitch, low and inside, second ball. 2-0 is the count, one out, runner on first. Wind up, the pitch comes in, swing and a miss. So that is strike. Then the throw goes out to first, trying to catch Ashlyn Long off bag, but not able to do that. Here comes the 2-1, and that one gets called a strike. So the count goes even at 2. So the pitcher, Abby Lindsley, with a 2-2, one out, runner on first. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that gets loped out into right field. The pickup and the throw over to second is not in time, but at least it keeps them from going any further. So now there's runners on first and second with one out. And Blue River is bringing in third baseman Olivia Adams next to bat. We do see courtesy runner. Looks like Eva Vandenberg is stepping in for Abby Lindsley on first base. First pitch swung on, fouled back for strike one. So Ashlyn Long is on second base. And now Eva Vandenberg is on first base for Blue River. 1 out. 0-1 is the count. Wind up, pitch, swing, and that gets past everybody into shallow center field. Wrapping around and coming back was very close, but called safe. For the run. So that increases Blue River's lead 3-0 with run came in. Now we have runners on second and third. And stepping into the batting box is shortstop Tessa Tisinski. Wind up that first pitch. That one's low for ball 1. 0-1, 1 out. Runners on second and third. Wind up, pitch, swung on, and that gets fouled on the first base side for strike number 1. 1-1, 1 out. We're at the top of the third inning. Blue River leading 1-0 with 1 out. Emma Meyer with the next pitch on the way, being delivered, sent back for strike 2 off that foul. Next pitch being delivered. That one's low. Counts even at 2. Swung on, and that gets sent out second base. Throw to first is in time. Then the throw to third, just try to pull the runner back. But that does bring in a run and an out. So now we have 2 outs, runner on third. And this should be left fielder Amelia Hopner stepping into the batting box. First pitch on the outside for ball 1. Wind up. Pitch on the way, swing, and that gets out to left field, brings in 1 run, and just chooses it as a base hit. Blue River now with a 5-0 lead, 2 outs, and a runner on first. And we're at the bottom of the order, designated hitter Shelby Reed in the batting box. First pitch swung on, and that gets out to right field, or grounder. And that is a base hit. Just moves everybody ahead 1. Now we're back around to the top of the order where we started the inning. Danica Watts, the catcher, stepping into the batting box. Actually, wait a second. Nope. Must be off here. So that's now I see left fielder Amelia Hopner in now. Wind up that pitch, swung on, and that gets popped down the third base side. Getting underneath it is third baseman Avery Hansen for the out. Now, nonetheless, 3 runs were able to be brought in, and that puts Blue River ahead 5-0 as we come to the bottom of the third inning after we take this break with the Warrior Bats hopefully warming up pretty soon right here on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online, wahoopublicradio.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral families, titles and scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Bottom of the third inning, stepping into the batting box, leading off batter is seventh in the lineup, actually. Pitcher Emma Meyer for a called strike. Wind up next pitch, swung on, and that gets sent down the third base side. Not able to pick it up or make the throw. So that is a base hit for Emma Meyer. Following Emma Meyer is designated player Leah Simon. Junior stepping into the batting box for the Warriors. So we're a little out of sequence here. Making some changes on the batting lineup. Nope, that is actually accurate. Sorry. We're eighth in a row. The pitch is high and outside for ball one. One 0, nobody out, runner on first. Pitch is on his way, swing and fouled back on the third base side for strike one. 1-1. Stepping in for the pitch. That one is called strike. Emma Meyer looking to move ahead, but with that throw, they get her back to first. Actually, Emma Meyer has been replaced by Michaela Kenning over on first. Next pitch, come in, swing and a miss. So that brings the first out. And now we have right fielder Addison Kenning stepping in to bat with one out, runner on first. So Michaela Kenning's courtesy running for Emma Meyer, the pitcher, with one out. Showing bunt. The throw goes out to second, and that is in time for the out. So not able to get that second base stolen. So we have Addison Kenning with one strike, two outs, nobody on base. Bottom of the third inning, Warriors trailing by 5-0. 0-1 is the count. Wind up pitch. Watch that one go by for a ball. Counts now 1-1. Wind up swing, and that gets sent over to shortstop. Throw over to first is in time for out number 3. 3 complete, and the Warriors continue to trail. I want to say thank you to the sponsors, and again, today's anchor sponsor, title sponsor for this senior night softball game is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. We also want to say thank you to JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Service, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, we're going to the top of the fourth inning, and Blue River leading the way, 5-0. Able to bring in 2 runs top of the first inning, 3 runs top of the third inning. And that brings up the designated hitter. The bottom of the order, Shelby Reed is stepping into the batting box. Wind up, that pitch is low for ball 1. 1-0. Next pitch swung on, and that is pulled on the third base side and called strike. So 1-1. Top of the fourth inning. Swing, and that goes out to the third base. Throw over to first is in time? Nope. No, not in time. So that puts her on first base. And now we have center fielder Ashlyn Long, the sophomore, stepping into the batting box, a left-handed batter. See if goes into the slapping position. Kind of a bunt. Drops down. The third base throw. It gets into shallow center field. So now we have runners on first and second. At bat is center fielder Ashlyn Long. First pitch swung on and fouled back for strike 1. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2. Swing, and that one gets sent out into center field over the glove all the way back to the fence. So coming around third is one. So it's an infield double with an RBI. That puts runners on first and second, or second and third, with nobody out. And that does bring out Trina Christian to talk with Emma Meyer and the whole gang. Looks like we might be experiencing a change here. Maybe. No, not changing a pitcher at this point, just having a conversation, getting everybody to be able to focus in. Brought the entire team in. So Emma Meyer, the number one, still in the circle to pitch. I believe that's Abby Lindsay with a pitch in the swing and picked out in the center, a right field. The throw is not in time to cut off the run. So it's one out and one run comes in. moves the runner to third. Olivia Adams, I believe, should be next on the roster. Yep. Olivia Adams is stepping into the batting box, third baseman for Blue River, leading 7-0. Wind up the pitch, swing, and that gets sent out. Picked up by a shortstop. Throw over to first is in time for the third out. So that's going to wrap up 3.5, and Blue River is holding the lead 7-0 over the Warriors. Warriors bats coming up in just a moment right here on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online, Wahoo Public Schools Online YouTube, and wahooradio.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
We're at the bottom of the fourth inning, and Briar Hancock stepping in to bat for the Warriors, trailing by 7-0. We're at the top of the order for the Warriors. First pitch on the outside for ball one. Warrior bats needing to warm up right now. Wind up next pitch. That one's low and called ball two. 2-0 to Hancock. Playing left field for the Warriors today. That one's low and inside, so opposite direction. 3-0. Is the call. Good position, just able to relax and wait for whatever pitch she wants on that one. That one gets in there, though, for a called strike. 3-1. Wind up swing, and that gets sent out to right field, and coming and chasing it down is Taylor Slonecker. So able to go in, snag that one just at the edge of her glove for the out. Next up to bat is center fielder Karen Eady. First pitch on the way, swing, and that gets sent down the third base side for a strike one. Waiting for the pitch, and that's high and outside. 1-1 is the count with one out. Next pitch swung on, and that one gets all the way out into left field for a base hit. So one out base hit right there. For Karen Eady, and that brings up third baseman Avery Hansen stepping into the batting box. That first pitch called ball. Wind up that pitch. Swing on. That is called strike. 1-1. 1 out. Runner on first. Warrior bats looking to do something as they are trailing 7-0. Bottom of the 4th inning. Wind up pitch, swing, and that is pulled down the third base side foul. 1-2. Next pitch swung on. The same thing down the third base side, out of play. Has a distance. If she was able to just get that in field just a little bit, that'd be a. It's almost sending that over the fence. So 1-2 is the count. 1 out, runner on first. Wind up pitch outside. Count goes even at 2. Next pitch swung on and missed. So strike 3, out number 2. Runner still on first. Now a fourth in the lineup is the catcher Addison Gregg stepping up to bat with 2 outs. First pitch, and that one is low outside. Well, actually, they say it was right across the edge of the plate. Called it a strike 1. Oh, 1 with 2 outs. Next pitch. That one's high and outside. 1-1. Blue River, they were able to bring in 2 runs striking first at the top of the first inning. Then the third inning, they brought in 3 more. In the top of the 4th inning, 2. Warriors haven't been able to find a way to be able to combat that yet. 2-1 is the count with 2 outs and a runner on first. Bottom of the 4th inning. Warriors trailing 7-0. Wind up, swung on. That is popped out into left center field, but getting underneath it is center fielder Ashlyn Long, and reeling in the 3rd out. And that wraps up 4 innings. Again, Blue River leading the way 7-0 with their bats up next. Again, top of the first inning, they bring in 2 runs. Top of the 3rd, 3 runs. Top of the 4th, 2 runs. We're going to the top of the 5th inning. We do want to say thank you to all the sponsors, part of the Wahoo Public Schools Athletic Booster Club. Tonight's leadoff sponsor is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. We also want to say thank you to JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, and Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, our title sponsor right there again. Shutt Electrical and Contracting, Tim and Seth Molly, Construction. Warriors looking to set up their defense to be able to hold Blue River to the 7-0 lead they have, as they want their chance to come back with their bats and be able to work on through, see what they can do to catch up. Now we have second baseman Taya Stonecker stepping in to bat for Blue River. First pitch swung on, and that's sent down the first base side foul for strike one. So 0-1, we're at the top of the fourth inning. Slonecker, next pitch is called ball. 1-1. Wind up, and that pitch is outside. 2-1. Pitch coming in, swung on. That gets sent over to the second baseman. So Addison Smart picks it up, throws over to Blake, hits for the out. That brings up Jaden Hayes, the first baseman, stepping into the batting box for Blue River. Wind up, the pitch comes in, swung on, and that gets sent out third base. Throw over to first, and that is in time for the out number 2. So Avery Hansen rifling that one over to Blake, hits for the out. And now we have shortstop Tessa Tisinski with 2 outs. Nobody on base. Wind up, that pitch swung on, and that gets chipped right over to Meyer. The throw to first is in time for out number 3. That's one way to do it. 1, 2, 3. And we'll be back with the Warrior Bats after we take a little break right here on Saunders County Online, YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, wahooradio.com, and bsdnlive.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Welcome back to Hackberry Park as we continue on with the Warriors softball taking on Blue River. Addison Smart stepping into the batting box. Second baseman, first pitch, swung on, and that gets popped over. Third baseman is able just to kind of sit there and let it come right to her. Olivia Adams for the out. Olivia Wesley, the shortstop, is up next for the Warriors, trying to get the bats to warm up with 1 out. We're at the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 7-0. Blue River with the lead. Wind up, that pitch swung on, and that gets loped over into right field for a base hit. That's a great way to start things off right there. Get a base hit over Olivia Wesley right there. And now we bring up the pitcher, Emma Myers, stepping into the batting box. Actually, so Elsie Obert is actually pitching now. And has been pitching this past inning. Apologize for that. First pitch called a ball. So Elsie Obert, sophomore, in the batting box. 1-0 1 out, runner on first. Wind up, that pitch goes high and outside for ball 2. Stepping in, a pitch is hit, and that gets popped up over to the third base side and reeling it in. Olivia Adams with the next out. So 2 outs, runner on first. And I believe it should be Aaliyah Simon, the designated player, stepping up to bat with 2 outs, runner on first. Bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch is low and outside. One 0, 2 outs, runner on first. Wind up. That pitch gets called ball 2. 2-0. Must have been just low. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Now we have a 2-1 with 2 outs. Wind up that pitch on the inside. 3-1. Warriors perhaps looking for a 2-out rally. Be able to get some scores run. Pitch swung on. That hits the shortstop and is not able to make a play. Just an awkward hit right there. So that puts runners on first and second. Asking Tessa Tusinski if she's doing okay with that, because it bounced up and just kind of hit her awkwardly. Knocked her mask off and everything. Now we have right fielder Addison Kenning stepping up to bat. So 2 outs, runners on first and second. Bottom of the 5th inning. Blue River leading the way, 7-0. Wind up, the first pitch comes in, and that one drops low. 1-0. Next pitch comes in. That one's inside, right on the edge of the plate for strike 1. 1-1. Check swing, holds it back. It was too high. 2-1 is the count now. Another pitch high and outside. Now the count is 3-1 with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Danica Watts giving some instruction to Abby Lindsley. Wind up that pitch. Just a little too far outside. That rolls the bases loaded. So that brings Briar Hancock top of the order. So 2 outs, bases loaded. Hancock in the batting box. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Wind up next pitch. That one's low and outside. 1-1 is the count. Comes in there for a strike. 1-2. At this point in time, I believe everybody should just take off running because it's the best shot they have. Wind up pitch. Swing, and that gets popped up, and it goes foul. So they let it go instead of trying to play that ball. So it keeps the count even at 2 with 2 outs, bases loaded. Wind up that pitch outside, and count goes full. 3-2, big pitch right here for everybody involved. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Wind up the pitch, and that one goes high for a walk. So that brings in a run for the Warriors. And that does bring Blue River having a timeout. Greg Jade goes out to talk in the circle with the pitcher and the infield. So the Warriors with 2 outs, bases loaded, 1 run walked in on a payoff pitch. 3-2 full count. That should bring in center fielder Karen Eady to bat for the Warriors. Wind up that pitch, swing and a miss. 0-1, 2 outs. Bases are loaded, by the way. Warriors looking to put together a 2-out rally. Wind up that pitch, swing again, fouled for strike 2. Another pitch, swing, and that gets popped up over the first third, right at the fence. 1 run, 2 runs, and a third base, a triple, bringing in 3 more runs. So that really tightens up the score, 7-4. And now Avery Hansen, third baseman, stepping in to bat with 2 outs. And now a runner on third. First pitch on the way. Swing, and that gets fouled back for strike 1. Again, that's a 2-out rally that happens quite a bit in softball. think they do it for the entertainment value, if nothing else. Here's the 0-1. Swing, and that gets popped foul for strike number 2. Bottom of the 5th inning. 4 runs come in for the Warriors. Wind up that pitch, and that's outside. 1-2 is the count. Avery Hansen at bat. That one stays high. Count goes even at 2. Two out, runner on third. Wind up pitch, swing, and that's sent out to center field. And getting underneath it, able to reel it in for the out, was center fielder Ashlyn Long. So, not without bringing in 4 runs. The Warriors bats stepping up a little bit right there, able to bring in and be able to get the score a little tighter as we go to the top of the 6th right after we take this break right here on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, wahooradio.com.
99.3 FM, wahooradio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Welcome back to Hackberry Park. It is Warrior softball going to the top of the 6th inning. Warriors able to battle back the bottom of the 5th with 4 runs in, a 2-out rally happened right there. Well, stepping up to bat for Blue River is left fielder Amelia Hopner. The first pitch comes in, called ball. Blue River leading the way 7-4. Wind up next pitch, swing, and that gets pulled down the first base side and goes foul for strike 1. First 4 innings, Blue River was able to bring in 7 runs unanswered by the Warriors. The Warriors held the Blue River team to 0 on the top of the 5th inning, able to bring in 4 runs there. So wind up next pitch, and that one just lopes in a little high. 2-1 is the count. Here comes the 2-1. Swing, and that gets sent out into right field. A grounder gets past second base for the base hit. And then we move to the bottom of the batting order. Now we do have a courtesy runner. Looks like Madison Clement coming in over on the first base for Amelia Hopner. Now Shelby Reed, the designated hitter, is stepping in. Showing bunt, pulls back. Throw over to second is able to get Madison Clement caught off guard as she was trying to steal base and gets the out. And so, strike and an out. Well-used pitch right there. Wind up, next pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2. Nobody on base. 1 out. 0-2 is the count to Reed. Wind up, next pitch. Swing again. Went down swinging, and that will take us back to the top of the order. And top of the order, Danica Watts, the catcher, stepping into bat. Left-handed batter. Wind up, that pitch comes in, and that's low for a ball. Pitching now is Elsie Obert for the Warriors. Top of the 6th inning. Next pitch, inside edge for a strike. Waiting for the 1-1. Swing and a miss, and that is strike number 2. Warriors looking to repeat what they did last inning. That one's just a little too far inside. Count goes even at 2. They can hold Blue River to nothing and get 4 more runs. That puts them ahead. Wind up, next pitch. Swing, and that gets fouled back. Count stays even at 2 with 2 outs. Wind up, pitch, swing, and that's sent over. Second base throw to first with plenty of time to spare for out number 3. Well, that's 2 innings in a row that the Warriors have been able to hold Blue River to nothing. And so the Warrior Bats coming up right after this on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, WahooRadio.com.
99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Welcome back to Hackberry Park. It is softball Tuesday night, senior night, as the Wahoo Warriors were able to honor the 3 seniors they have, Addison Kinning, as well as Blake Hitz and Ella Walsh. That's why we started the game. Now we're at the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Warriors trailing 7-4, but the past 2 innings they've been able to hold Blue River to aught. And then we're looking for a rally. Now, you don't want to wait for a 2-out rally, as we have Addison Gregg in the batting box with a 0-1 pitch coming up here soon. Wind up pitch, swung, and that's sent straight out to center field, getting underneath it. And able to reel it in was Ashlyn Long, the center fielder. So that is out number 1. Addison Smart coming up to bat now with 1 out, nobody on base. We're at the bottom of the 6th inning. Wind up the pitch, swung, and that's pulled down the third base side, foul for strike number 1. 0-1. A little too far inside, so that's 1-1 now. One and one out, nobody on base. Bottom of the sixth inning. Wind up, that pitch drops low. 2-1. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Warriors are able to bring in 4 runs, but they did that all with 2 outs. I think it'd be better for everybody's blood pressure if you do it without having the 2 outs first. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2. And next pitch is hit, and that gets into left field over the third baseman's glove, and that is a base hit. That should bring up Olivia Wesley. Yep. The shortstop to bat with a runner on first, 1 out. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that gets sent out to left field for a base hit. Great placement between third and shortstop to be able to get out to a loping hit out there. And now, that brings, before we have Elsie Obert coming in, that brings in a conversation as the infield has a conversation with the pitcher, and that is, again, Abby Lindsley, still in the circle for Blue River. So 1 out, runners on first and second. Elsie Obert at bat, the pitcher. Swing, and that gets sent over. Second base throw to first is in time, but not without advancing the runners to second and third. So 2 outs. Last inning. Warriors were able to have a 2-out rally right here. And that brings up Leah Simon into the batting box. Wind up pitch, swing, and that gets sent over. Shortstop picks it up, throw over to first is in time for the out. Stranding runners on second and third, but that brings up 7th inning right after this as we continue on. It is Warrior Softball on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, and wahooradio.com. Want to say thank you to sponsors like the title sponsor for tonight is Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. Also, we want to say thank you to all the sponsors, including JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, and Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, the Warriors want to be able to get 3 outs and bring their bats back to see what they can do. We're at the 7th inning right here. So let's see what happens as we continue on. So stepping into the batting box. See where we're at here. Wind up that pitch, swung on, and sent back at center fielder Ashlyn Long for the first strike. comes the 0-1. That's inside in the dirt. 1-1. Next pitch comes in, swing, and that gets popped down the first base side, out of play. 1-2 is now the count. Blue River leading 7-4. Next pitch outside. Counts even at 2. Elsie Obert stepping up to pitch, and that swung on and sent down the third base side foul. Stays even at 2. Wind up the next pitch, and that one great down the middle, but just a little low. Count goes full. Nobody out. Wind up pitch. Swing, and that gets sent over. Shortstop picks it up. Throw over to first in time. So we have the Olivia Wesley to Blake Hintz connection for the out. So 1 out. And that brings up Abby Lindsley. First pitch on the way, and that one is on the outside edge for a called strike. We will be having another inning. What? Wind up pitch? And actually, no. Where are we at? We're at the top of the 7th. So this is our final inning. Next pitch swung on, and that goes called foul. So 1-2 is the count to Abby Lindsley. Top of the 7th inning. 1 out, nobody on base. Next pitch, swing, and that is sent out and pulled in by Olivia Wesley. So that is the second out. And now we send things as we see third baseman Olivia Adams should be stepping into the batting box for Blue River. 2 outs, nobody on base. Blue River leading 7-4. Warriors looking to hold them. First pitch swung on, strike 1. Two outs, nobody on. 0-1. Swing and fouled. And that is strike number 2. So Blue River at their last strike right now. Wind up pitch. Swing and a miss. And that wraps up. There's nothing else Blue River can do to add to their score. All they can do is try to hold off the Warriors. And we'll find out how that goes after this right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com.
99.3 FM, WahooRadio.com, Saunders County Online, and the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club want to say thank you for being a part of our broadcast and to thank the sponsors who are a great part of all of our activities. JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Estudillo and Verbral Families, Titles and Scooters, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction.
Welcome back as we're at the bottom of the 7th inning. Warriors trailing 4-7 at Blue River. And we are at the bottom of the order. Addison Kenning, first pitch, strike one. Warriors need 3 to tie, 4 to win. Wind up next pitch, and that one is low. 1-1 is the count. Briar Hancock on deck. Wind up next pitch, and that one is across the inside edge at the knees for strike 2. Warriors again need 4 runs to win, 3 runs to go into extra innings. Wind up pitch, swing, and that gets popped up over to shallow left field. Coming in to reel that one in is Amelia Hopner for the out. And now we go to the top of the order. Briar Hancock, left fielder, stepping up to bat for the Warriors. With 1 out, nobody on base. Wind up pitch swung on as that was a little bit outside for strike 1. That one as well, a little low and outside. So now we have 1-1 with 1 out. Wind up, showing slapper on that last one. Gets past for ball 2. 2-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Warriors' last chance. High and outside, 3-1. Hancock waiting for the next pitch. Wind up, it's on its way. Swing, and that gets sent out to left center field, and center fielder able to reel over. The Ashland Long wheels in for the out. So that is 2 outs. And next up to bat is center fielder Karen Eady. Two outs, nobody on base. Bottom of the 7th inning. That pitch goes well outside for ball 1. Warriors now just hoping to have a 2-out rally. Wind up pitch hit, and that goes down. And on the just off of the bag for first base, Jaden Hayes able to come over and grab it for the 3rd out, and that is the game. Well, doing what they could, but not able to pull it back together towards the end. We see a Blue River with the 7-4 win over Wahoo Warriors. Again, we want to say thank you to our title sponsor tonight, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, and all of the sponsors, JEO Consulting, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, and Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, the next broadcast we will have will be Friday night as Mount Michael is coming to play the Warrior football team. So until then, have a great week